Despite being the UK's biggest theme park, Alton Towers is incredibly secluded. With attractions like Thorpe Park and Blackpool, you can see rides and infrastructure from afar, but that isn't the case with Alton Towers. If it weren't for the signs and traffic, you'd have no idea there were roller coasters up on that big hill. So, being the complete and utter dullard that I am, I thought, just how much of Alton Towers can you see from outside the resort? For this challenge, there are 3 rules. No drone usage. Everything must be viewed from the ground. No parking in the middle of the road like a complete idiot. And no trespassing onto private property. Other than that, the biggest hurdles were waiting for a day I was out of office and didn't have any other commitments, and of course trying to find any viewing points. Going into this challenge, I knew of a few spots, notably how the ruins poke above the trees. Certain parts of the estate, such as the flag tower, were designed to be viewed from afar. The rides are all carefully planned around the natural tree line, but I knew prior that in certain spots, Oblivion and parts of X Sector are indeed visible. I wasn't expecting there to be some secret vista in some village where you could get a super unique view of Nemesis or whatever. If anything, the whole thing stemmed from the sky ride. The gondolas are quite colourful, and I always wondered how visible they would be from outside the boundaries of the park. Now that I've got free will and have nothing better to do, nothing could stop me from exploring. Also, in the past couple of years, I've developed crippling motion sickness, so this way I can still find something to do up that way other than rides. So I took a camera with a decent zoom lens, a few pairs of binoculars, and some company to help figure this all out. The long drive up to Staffordshire gave us ample time to go over the routes we wanted to take, catch up, and share some good music. Our plan was as follows. Follow the old rail line that would have run south of the park in hopes of seeing the sky ride and continue on the paths around the back of the resort. Walk through some fields where we had previously seen the top of Oblivion, albeit in winter. Drive up to Ribden Road for a lovely vista of the house. And walk up the 𝘠𝘩𝘢 Hills for a panoramic view. For the first walk, we parked at the Talbot pub on Farley Lane. For many visitors, this will be the last road they drive on before entering Alton Towers.
So obviously there's the old gatehouse entrance there. First one we're looking at is down this lovely little path down here. Looking for where the sky ride could possibly be visible, but ironically it's closed today, so it's going to be very, very difficult if anything can be seen. I mean, also just to show how much of an impact Alton Towers has on the local area, this is sort of just behind it, a fence about 𝘂𝘂𝘏𝑠 land, so that's been there for what, 12 years probably? So down here as well would have been the old rail line, which obviously got destroyed by Harold Beeching, who was a lovely man who infrastructurally ruined everything. I mean, technically there's your first part of the challenge. There's a fence there, which presumably goes onto the site, so God, I'm boring. So I'm not sure if I managed to sort of beef the audio up there, but yeah, you could quite clearly hear what must be Nemesis. It's not a particularly windy day either. It's kind of like just a gentle rumble. Good 5-minute walk down from our starting point on this trip. So yeah, it is interesting that obviously, you know, the sound does carry. And yeah, on those really windy days, it must carry quite far into the village, I suppose. We just found another small path off it, and yeah, we're definitely very, very close because there's one of the gates into the resort. Obviously we're not going to go to that because that is the private property of the resort, but we'll definitely I mean yeah, again technically it's something outside, but yeah, there's still nothing. We can hear quite a bit, but we've not seen anything. It might be better in winter, but winter's a busy time of the world, isn't it? Christmas and that. This hill just keeps going. Absolutely huge hill. I mean, she sure is pretty around here though. Rides are audible in the distance. And there's a gate. So I think we'll climb this stile and can't really go down that way because that goes straight onto the site. So I suppose that almost answers another question of just where does the boundary of Alton Towers begin. But we did actually see, I can't tell if that's Splash or the Alton Towers Hotel. No, it's not exciting, but technically it's Alton Towers off-site. Now you've got gate 16 just there. So yeah, not going down there because that'll take us straight onto the old woodland walk, which yeah, we can't go on to obviously today. But we'll continue walking down probably the other way. So that'll take us down to the rock. We know we can see Enchanted Village down that way from doing some filming years and years ago. So far, not a lot, you know, just a hotel and distant Ribden. Or maybe that's even 𝘰𝘠𝘮𝘰𝘮𝘠𝘠's actually. I don't actually know. No, that does look like the Alton Towers one. No, it is. Honestly, who knows? And also, who really cares? Going slightly further along, kind of show how almost open the park is at times. There's a small bridge here, which we'll cross now, which will take us to the 𝘰𝘠𝘮𝘰𝘮𝘠's Land Hotel, which must have been what the other one was. And oh, we're in a car park, so we are actually now technically stepping into Alton Towers, a free and legal way. So we've cut through the actual resort a little bit, very back of the Enchanted Village there, and the stargazing pods here. And we're now going to take this public footpath, which will spit us right back off the boundary of the resort. And we'll go look for the rock, have a little nose around that, and continue on our lovely little journey. Again, just being very pedantic about this. Yeah, there's the technically a public footpath goes into the resort. You can see where sort of the line kind of changes in the texture there. The Enchanted Village is just there. This is again one that we knew about from filming down here previously. But yeah, we've not really seen much so far, but it's just a lovely little area to walk. And also, to be honest, it's a day off work. It's a day off work just exploring. Might be on the wrong layer of the walk because, again, this would have technically been part of the estate a very, very, very long time ago. But there is King Ina or King Ina's Rock. I can never quite remember what the pronunciation is. But a very impressive thing. Hopefully we can find a way up there, but I actually don't know if we can. But there it is regardless. It's just an interesting piece of history of the estate, I suppose.
We managed to get up to the rock and take in its majesty before the next walk. We parked at the Chained Oak B&B with hopes of seeing X Sector.
I know you can actually see rising ship through this bit. Definitely in the winter. No idea if you can. This time of year is the tricky thing. So this is kind of one of those things where yes you can and yes you can't. Because today, oh no, I can just about see a bit of catwalk. You don't know if I'll be able to pick up on camera, but you definitely can. Other times of year, again, we're filming this in the middle of August. So obviously the trees are at nice ground, but I've definitely come down here like early on in the season. It might be a little bit further down the road as well, but it definitely is visible. So just opposite the entrance to the Chained Oak B&B, it's a little footpath. I've been on a similar footpath before, and I know for a fact Oblivion is viewable. Again, this was in February, so different time of year. Overgrowth obviously changes. Yeah, we really chose the wrong time of year to do this. But obviously, you know, going into November, December, New Year's, lots of things to keep a man busy these days. Just a little bit into the walk, and yeah, there we go. Oblivion. Obviously one of the taller rides in the park. Technically it's within the tree line, I suppose. But yeah, it's quite interesting though that you can see it quite clearly.
Then we drove to Ribden Road, and en route we found another stupidly pedantic viewing point.
Woohoo! So obviously Alton Towers entrance is there. We're now going along Wooton Lane, which is not somewhere you're really encouraged to go at all, as you can see. But I mean, this is again one of those like really pedantic, really pedantic spots where obviously you can actually see into the park a little bit. You can also just see people parking like absolute bellends along here. So yeah, you kind of go like alongside the entry road to the resort. So you can see bits of road there. A little bit further on as well, you can see some of the car parks, the overflow fields in particular, which at the moment is full of cows. So farmers need them, I suppose. There's a public footpath as well that runs along this bit, which we came down one time at about midnight on the way back to our accommodation, and got lost, and it was an experience. It was a very weird thing. Oh look, here's someone who's probably parking there to avoid the obscene amount of parking charge that they give you nowadays. Or he's just sat in his car having a smoke, as you do. Well, there's actually quite a few of them. We found a dogging spot, because that's really not what I had intended the day to be. I mean, sure, if we found one, we found one. Yeah, lo and behold, literally a minute later, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this on camera because we're going the opposite way to the way that I normally use this road. Oh, there you go, got some cows in the fields just there. So yeah, I believe some of those fields are used for overflow. They're not actually owned by whoever owns Towers. I can't remember if Merlin actually owned the park or not. I know this is an incredibly boring video, but I don't even know if I can give you that boring fact. So next on the agenda, this is one that I've actually visited before. We're on Ribden Road. There might be a few around here actually, because the sat-nav was trying to take us to the wrong one. But of course, one of the main kind of interesting things about this area is that the ruins do poke above the trees in quite a few areas. There's also some sheep. But as you can see in the distance, the phone zoom won't do very well, so I'll get the camera out for some proper pictures, but you can quite clearly see Alton Towers just there. Really, really clear.
Our final spot was up the 𝘠𝘭𝘢 Hills. It's here where the roads get really tight, but what we found up there was worth a tricky drive.
Just parked up on the 𝘠𝘭𝘢 Hills following the clutch of death, the death of a clutch. Yeah, straight away. Ruins are visible. We'll go up here, in case a little bit more is visible. I've heard some people say that they come up here to watch the fireworks, so it's very, very tempting actually to try that one day. So yeah, we come a little bit further over. Yeah, again, ruins very visible. A little bit of Smiler and what we think might be Spinball is visible. The little green dot must be the Gold Striker building or whatever it's called nowadays. I think it's the Games Bunker or something like that. I think I might definitely come up here again at some point when the rides are running. Currently it's 7 o'clock, so obviously the park's closed because they have really shitty opening hours. But again, it kind of just shows that, you know, they took a very, very good job of hiding things, but when you have giant metal structures, I do wonder, of course, if, I know a lot of people give Towers slack for having all their rides painted black or dark or whatever, but I do wonder, you know, if they were like a lime green or like the yellow that the corkscrew is, they'd probably be a little bit more visible. So I do wonder if that's almost like a condition of them installing kind of these massive rides in a conservation area. I'd imagine it probably is. So hello. So we're on our way up to Trigg Point. If you do come up here, please be mindful because the Lloyd TSB horse nibbles the grass, and oh my god! The thing is, I have a massive dog who we call a horse, but like I've never actually like really been this close to a horse before, and I'm kind of like a little bit stuck now because you can't really go behind horses because I don't want to get kicked in the bollocks. Hello. Hi, I'm just going to walk this way because I'm kind of anxious for you, man. I mean, you're beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful. But, I don't know, maybe we found the good grass spot. We're still alive after the horses. They were just very friendly and nosy. But again, it's a view you've come to expect by now. So one ride that I didn't think we'd be seeing from this far would be 13, but you can see it. The best way to kind of spot it is, of course, with a zoom lens or a good pair of binoculars. Kind of once you've found it, you can see it with the naked eye, but aside from that, it really does blend in. So it's kind of the spot of trying to find it and then go on it. I'm now wondering, against like the 𝘷𝘪𝘥𝘬𝘐 HQ, if we had to do this again, to send someone in like a neon shirt or a high-vis jacket or something, put them on Oblivion, and then do it again. I mean, who knows, maybe one day we'll become that boring that we'll start like really playing with it. But you know what? At this point, we probably will.
The Weaver Hills proved to be spectacular, but we found out shortly after that more was visible. When chatting with friends the next day, there is indeed a spot in Alton itself where you can see Galactica. This photograph was taken during the winter, so perhaps we wouldn't have been so lucky on this trip. The older I get, the more bizarre Alton Towers is to me. I always knew that it made no sense to have a major theme park a good 20 minutes away from the nearest town, accessible only via small villages and tight roads. It didn't make sense to build roller coasters in a conservation zone, and funneling tens of thousands of cars through little lanes is an infrastructural nightmare. But I think that's where the old-style magic of Alton Towers is, and my silly little challenge made me fall in love with the area even more. The location is breathtaking in its undulation. The overgrowth envelops any and all buildings, all of which are quaint and crooked. Driving into Thorpe Park as a kid was always fun because I'd be on the lookout for stealth in the distance, whereas Towers, there was no indication. Even if you look really hard for rides, you'll struggle. But this challenge, more than anything, was me clinging on to something I've loved so dearly for over a decade now. The park hasn't changed much in the past few seasons, and what is there has only gotten dirtier and less reliable. To retain any modicum of magic the park has, and because adulting means there's work to do with purse strings to clench, I don't visit as often as I once did. The idea of driving around the area to spot things from afar is simply a new way to find entertainment up there, an expansion of interest in a hilariously boring way. And by expanding the fringes of my enthusiasm, I've discovered gorgeous woodlands to walk through and fun tracks to drive on. So next time you visit Alton Towers, remember how extraordinary the location is. There are few locations as stunning as the rolling hills of Staffordshire elsewhere in the country, let alone ones that have roller coasters.